This one here that we're gonna play
This
is like stupid new. Alright? Just stupid new. We're just gonna play it because what the hell, why not, right?
Right.
You guys wanna hear a stupid ass new song, right?
Yeah.
Cool. It's a little different, but it's fun.
Hey. Yeah.
There's a man who leads a life of danger. To everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. With every move he makes, another chance he takes, odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and taken away your name. Where are pretty faces that you find? A pretty face can hide an evil mind. Oh, be careful what you say, or you'll give yourself away. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man, they've given you a number and taken away your name. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name. Skiing on the Riviera one day, then laying in the Bombay Alley next day. No, you let the wrong word slip while kissing persuasive lips. Odds are you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. They've given you a number and taken away your name.
Warning: this podcast features adult subject matter, adult language, and things not meant for children to hear. Viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. We could be. We might be. It appears that we are. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, here on the I'm No Joe YouTube channel. As Chuck Todd would say, if it's Sunday, it's, what did I say? The show where I hold us accountable for the shit talking we did on the I'm No Joe podcast on Thursday and give you fine folks a recap of all the crazy MMA, combat sports, punchy kicky bullshit that has happened over the course of the weekend. So first and foremost, thank you to everyone who is watching this, whether you are out there in the chat right now, I see you guys, or whether you are catching this on a replay. I appreciate you either way. If you in fact would like to get more of the punchy kicky shenanigans shit talking we do around here, we are available on pretty much all social media platforms: Facebook, I'm No Joe; Instagram, I'm No Joe; YouTube at I'm No Joe. And if the Instagram influencer faces we have on this channel are just too damn distracting for you, we have got you covered there. Fret not, mon ami. Anchor.fm/I'm No Joe for the all audio version of the I'm No Joe podcast through your podcast consumption platform of choice. That being said, we had a plethora of events this weekend. So we'll start at the top because those are the first ones that were getting kicked down. The first thing that we saw this weekend, first thing Saturday morning, bright and fucking early. I mean, quite literally, I believe it kicked off at 10 a.m. Central Time. It was bright and fucking early. The historic first ever live event in MMA from France. Bellator's two-part card, EuroSeries3 / Bellator 248, both very strange cards, both very disappointing cards for such a historic event, but we did get two results that are, I suppose, worth talking about because we have to mention these cards. The first one, not surprisingly, MVP beat a soup can that they brought in basically just for MVP to beat. The surprising thing this time was that he barely got around this soup can, had to take it by decision, and almost didn't get that decision because he hit the soup can in the back of the head, I think 4 different times clearly, but the ref somehow never called any of them. So there was that. I think Houston actually could have a future as long as they give him time to actually develop and not throw him to a fucking overworked soup can crusher like MVP. And despite all of his shit talking, I still don't think MVP actually does a damn thing. If he ever does get that rematch with Lima, I think Lima makes him stanky leg in the middle of the fucking octagon all over again, anytime, any weight. I don't care where MVP is willing to chase Lima to get the rematch. Anytime they match up again, he fucks him up. There's just no competition between those two. So MVP is going to do MVP things and keep talking shit, and we'll just keep laughing at him in the meanwhile. The other thing that happened, Chuck Congo and Tim Johnson 2 on the 248 card was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. That realistically could have gone either way at the decision. And even Tim Johnson himself said when they were talking to him in the post-fight interview, he honestly would not have been surprised if they would have said that Chuck got that fight, but he was glad that they did say his name. He knew that it was a close rematch. I am legitimately kind of surprised they made the rematch, though, considering the first time they fought the end of almost exactly 2 years ago in 2018, Chuck Congo knocked Tim Johnson, out in a minute 40 seconds. So there's not really a lot that was to be gained. It was kind of supposed to be an alley-oop toss-up for Chuck Congo, and it didn't really go that way. It ended up being a legitimate 3-round battle. So props to Johnson, props to Chuck Congo. He says he's not hanging up. He's still got a couple more left on the contract. He's still got more than enough left in the tank, he says. So we will see that going through. Jump from there real quick to the end of last night. After the UFC was over last night, there was BKFC 15. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of names on that card that the control just fell off my fucking desk for no reason. Not a lot of names on that particular card that the fairweather fan or the casual, if you will, is going to recognize, other than perhaps the heavyweight belt holder in BKFC, Joey Beltran, former UFC veteran, actually just took the belt 2 BKFC events ago from the reigning champion Chase Sherman and absolutely fucking earned it doing Joey Beltran things. One of the things that he was really known for is that he's not what you call a first quarter quarterback. He's definitely more of a fourth quarter kind of guy. Joey Beltran never really does a whole lot in the first round. He generally lets the other guy get warmed up or wear himself out and then turns it on later in the fight and weathers the early storm pretty much every time. That's how he got Chase Sherman. He weathered a fucking massacre thrown at him from Chase Sherman and then beat the shit out of him in the end. And Marcel Stamps was no exception to this rule. He came in early. He came in real heavy, ended up actually breaking his fucking hand before the match was over. And Joey Beltran weathered the early storm and then started to just piece him the fuck up and pick him apart in late 3 and 4. And then I believe he dropped him a total of 8 times during the fight. The last one, you could tell he couldn't get up anymore, and they ended up calling it. So Joey Beltran's going to hold on to that fucking BKFC belt for a hot minute, I think, until they get some seriously much higher level talent in the heavyweight division over in BKFC. That's Joey Beltran's belt to fucking do with as he pleases. From there, we will jump back over to the UFC. This UFC card turned out to be better than anyone, I think, expected it to be. And it just went fucking crazy. There was a couple of slow starts. The Silva fight and then the Cortez fight both kind of were a little bit lackluster, but man, when we get into the Giga Chikadze versus Omar Morales fight, that shit was fucking spectacular. Giga Chikadze was throwing kicks to go directly through Omar Morales, and somehow Morales weathered the storm, but man, was he paying for it every fucking time he turned around. He ate so many big fucking shots, and you got to give him credit because Giga was absolutely sounded like somebody hitting a heavy bag with a fucking bat when he would lit him with the kicks, and he lit him up from both sides. He lit him up low. He worked the body. He threw some high kicks at him to mix it up. Giga Chikadze looks like after the little hiccup he had earlier in the year, he is absolutely back on track and heading to be a legitimate contender in the featherweight division here. From there, amazing fucking fight between Tony Kelly and Ali Al-Kayasi. The thing is that this fight is going to get swallowed up in the news about this particular card because there were some spectacular KOs and finishes on this card. But the thing that you have to remember, the thing that people will go back and see the replay of and just absolutely be befuddled by is at one point, Tony Kelly had Al-Kayasi in an armbar at the shoulder and bent his arm in a crescent moon shape backwards the wrong direction. The UFC actually put some pictures of it on their Instagram. It is unbelievable how his arm did not legitimately snap. Props to Al Kayasi for being a tough son of a bitch, but Tony Kelly came in and did fucking work. Unanimous, just beautiful fucking clean sweep. That brings us to probably the most memorable moment of the evening, and what will be one of the most memorable moments for anyone watching any sports replay show for probably the next week easily, if not more. This week, we kind of agreed unanimously, those of us from the show and our group chat, while it was happening, that this is probably going to knock Edson Barbosa's wheel kick out of the most used kick highlight reel. Impa Kasangane came out looking good. Joaquin Buckley came out looking good. And then in the second round, something straight out of a goddamn video game happened. Joaquin Buckley threw a body kick. Impa Kasangane caught it. Without missing a beat, Joaquin Buckley did what you can only really describe as a reverse spinning, jumping sidekick almost, because he turns, jumps over his leg that was being held, and throws the other leg as a kick, lands square on the fucking money directly across the nose and forehead of Impa Kasangane and knocked him out on the spot. Eyes rolled back in his head, body fell over, stiff locked up. One of the easiest, craziest knockouts ever in UFC history. It's already being talked about as knockout of the year contender, top 5 all-time knockout contender. It was legitimately one of the craziest things that's ever been seen under an MMA camera, on the UFC side anyway. It legitimately looked like something out of a fucking video game. It looked like something, it's one of those moves that if you saw it in a movie, you would instantly be like, that shit doesn't work in real life. We fucking saw it last night. We saw that shit work in real life last night. It was fucking crazy. So it's just an insane replay. It's worth taking 2 minutes out of your day and going and finding it. It's on any of the UFC's pages anywhere, or Sports Center's got it, I'm sure, by now. It was legitimately one of the craziest kicks / finishes, period, I have ever seen in more than 20 years of being an MMA fan. So it's worth going and watching. I absolutely concur with that. That being said, Tom Breeze came in. Obviously, that's a hard act to fucking follow, because it was. Tom Breeze, actually, before we get to Tom Breeze, Chris Dawkins, Philly PD, police department, coming in light. I believe he was 232 into the heavyweight against Rodrigo Nascimento, who came in at like 263. Dawkins looked fucking great, came in fucking first round, 45-second KO. Props to that young man. But then after that, Tom Breeze came in against KB Buller. KB Buller had so much seemingly, surprise, surprise, undeserved fucking hype around him coming in. Everyone had so much praise for KB Buller coming in here out of Canada. Supposed to be making such a big deal out of his debut. Getting the octagon, hands low, acting cocky like he, king of the world. Surprise, surprise, dude. You keep your hands at your waist and you're going to get knocked the fuck out. Guess what? Tom Breeze reinforced that fucking statement for me and put KB Buller out fucking cold. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You don't get to play with fucking heavyweights. You don't get to play with your hands down at fucking heavyweight. That's stupid. Well, he got his. Moving along to the opening round of the main card. Youssef Zalal versus Ilia Topuria, making his debut, bumped up from the prelims to open the main card. This was an absolute fucking insane fight. Start to finish, Zalal wanted to keep it on the feet, but couldn't. And Topuria was throwing up every fucking ground-based submission attempt you can think of from every angle that he could possibly apply it to. And the two of them were fucking rolling back and forth. Just submission after submission after submission attempt. I will say, despite Topuria definitely easily dominating the entire fight and controlling and dictating the pace and where the fight took place the entire fucking time, Zalal's defense kept him alive and kept him from getting hurt or put to sleep no less than a half a dozen times in this match. As impressive as Topuria's jiu-jitsu and groundwork was, Zalal's defense was equally impressive, because there were several times he should have been hurt or choked the fuck out and managed to spin out at the last second or just work a limb loose out of nowhere. His defense work was equally as impressive and respectable. Now, if you remember when we were talking on Thursday about this next match, we always try and say, when you're getting your debut, you know, best of luck to you, but it's always an uphill battle. It's even more so when it's an uphill battle against Tom fucking Aspinall, who is Tyson Fury's training partner, for fuck's sake. If you throw hands with one of the biggest badasses on the fucking planet on a regular basis for years, you almost have to, by osmosis, pick up a little bit. Tom Aspinall is one that kind of slid under the radar getting into the UFC. No one realized who the fuck he was till he was already there. And now that he's there and starting to make his mark, people are starting to do their homework on him, look a little more into him, and find out what the fuck, where the hell this guy came from. And then you realize where his fucking hands come from, where his strategy and his mindset comes from, that Tyson Fury camp. And you see him come out and just do fucking work. Alan Budo, I just genuinely don't think he was ready for the UFC, least of all for a guy like Tom Aspinall. Minute 35 and he is baby elephant out. Just quick fucking work, clean work. Didn't hardly get a single scratch on that goofy looking mug of his. Ready for a clean fucking turnaround as quick as the UFC can get him back in there. That kid has got a very, very bright opportunity ahead of him in the UFC for damn sure. That brings us to an interesting kind of point here. Perez is a fucking clown. His bad Joker cosplay during the weigh-ins is kind of the laughing stock anytime he's on the card, and everyone knows it. Duplessis was making his debut, which, as we say, is always a tough case to begin with. But against a fucking clown like this, it's an equally uphill battle. You just got to imagine, especially when he does that fucking Joker cosplay shit at the weigh-ins and you're a legit serious professional fighter. You could see it bothered Duplessis in the weigh-ins, and when they got to the octagon, he took every chance he could to just shut that fucking clown down, and he is just that. Perez is a clown, very Miguel Pereira-esque, in that he wants to be flashy, he wants to be bouncy, he wants to be fucking showy, but in doing so, the dumbass leaves himself open for a lot of big fucking shots, and in a ridiculous up elbow backwards attempt that he tried to throw, Duplessis just fucking came around and shut him the fuck down and then put him to sleep on the fucking canvas. He got his ass handed to him and he fucking earned it. It's exactly what we wanted to see, and it made a lot of us very happy. Hopefully we don't have to see Perez again for a while, and when we do, his ass stays on the fucking prelims where he belongs in the other soup can fucking ranges. So fuck that guy. Let him get back to the back of the fucking line. Now, from there, Holy shit. What a people's co-main event battle we got. Ben Rothwell versus Marcin Tybura. We, as you can fucking clearly tell by watching any episode of the I'm No Joe podcast, we absolutely love Ben Rothwell around here. He is our favorite Wisconsin boy. He is the Kenosha killer for a fucking reason. But damn if he did not look old and fucking tired Saturday night. Marcin Tybura did not really do anything that terrific, did not do anything that standoutish, but he was able to absorb and walk through pretty much everything Ben was throwing at him and pieced Ben up with some pretty damn good combinations in return that fucked Ben's face up quite a bit, quite a noticeable bit. It's realistically, if we can't get him into much better shape very quickly, it's going to be time to start seriously considering finding Ben a job in Kenosha that's not going to have him fighting, because this pony is slowing down enough. It's not going to be willing or able to keep up in the races for much longer. And it sucks to have to say that about guys that have been around as long as Ben, but you also don't want to see him end up another fucking Chuck Liddell getting his brain bashed into the fucking canvas by some new moron to make a fucking reputation for himself. You want to see the guys go out when they still are able to decide to go out, not when they're told to. So from there, we go to a fucking spectacular co-main event, better than we have seen a lot of the cards this year, luckily. Edson Barboza versus Makwan Amirkhani was a fucking class from Edson Barboza. Amirkhani did some good work. He absolutely did some good work. The problem is that Edson fucking Barboza looks every bit as good at 145 pounds as he used to at 155 pounds. And that is a legitimate problem for the featherweight division. Like it or not, he's going up the rankings by leaps and fucking bounds, and he should be. He put his time in against enough big names at 55. He should get some sort of consideration at 45, especially considering that Amirkhani was one of the hottest fucking prospects, arguably breaching on the top 15, getting ready to get a number behind his name, and Edson just took him to fucking task for 3 full fucking rounds last night. Just absolutely fucking spectacularly. I wouldn't say full on masterclass, because Amirkhani did get some work in and he did get some good avoidance, some good defense, but man, did he fucking pay. Did he fucking pay. Edson absolutely earned that W. So props to that. I will say, I said it several times last night. I said it again several times today watching highlights again. We said it in the group chat the second he fucking walked out. It's weird after all this time to see Edson Barboza grow out his beard and his hair. Edson Barboza has been a clean shaven, if not completely shaven, if not low cut fade haircut having dude for 20 fucking years. And he has barely ever had so much as a little soul patch or a little fucking chin strap. Nothing. And then all of a sudden he comes out last night and he's got almost a full beard rock and he's got like a mini fro growing out, and it's fucking awesome. It's weird, but it's awesome. I fucking dig it. Edson is about to make a big fucking problem in 145. That will bring us to our fucking crazy ass main event of the evening. Excuse me. Corey Sandhagen versus Marlon Moraes. This fight was fucking crazy. These boys were getting it. It was really fucking even in the first round. It was a give and take back and forth. They were definitely feeling each other out, but nobody was holding anything back. Corey was trying to be slick. Marlon was trying to do a lot of power shots. Corey made him miss a lot towards the end of the first and in the beginning of the second, and he started to pay for it. And then a minute into that second round, Corey Sandhagen decided that he did not want to miss out on the chance to get a crazy finish on Fight Island threw a Edson Barboza-esque wheel kick himself, used the calf more than the actual kick, but caught Marlon Moraes right on the top of his fucking dome, planted him on his ass, bounced on top of him, and the referee jumped right in and stopped the fucking fight. There is a lot of controversy around the timing of the stoppage. It looked like Marlon was defending himself legitimately from every angle they showed the replay on, but this is one of those weird situations where we don't get to question after the fact, and it's kind of just Corey's W at this point. The one thing I will say out of all this is that at the end of the evening, late last night, early this morning, we did get a tweet from Impa Kasanganai congratulating Joaquin Buckley on landing that kick, being a fucking awesome sport about it, and saying that now that he knows that that's a possibility, it's something he's going to have to train to defend. Great fucking sense of humor about getting fucking added to the bad end of a highlight reel that's going to get shown on loop on every fucking sports segment of every show for a hot minute now. That being said, again, it's fucking frustrating that it happens this way, but we got another fucking card where Dana not only didn't come out to do the post-fight press conference, which was weird, even though he was cage side, but then decided again, no fight of the night, and they're going to do 4 performance of the night bonuses. So as aggravating as that is, these are 4 understandably decent nominations for performance of the night. First one is Tom Breeze for that fucking crazy fight earlier. Great stoppage. Chris Dawkins, 50 grand for him. Very cool. Joaquin Buckley, obviously that was a 50 grand kick. You knew at the moment you fucking saw it. And then Corey Sandhagen with that wheel kick, wheel calf into fucking fight stopping sequence. 50 G's for all of them. So props to those gentlemen for bonuses on Fight Island. One thing we did notice, and we kind of talked about it amongst the guys while we were watching the fights, no one, not a single fucking person on last night's UFC card, top to bottom, not one winner called for a quick turnaround fight. That's why we have a Khamzat Chimaev right now, is because he wanted a quick turnaround fight, said so, got a quick turnaround fight, improved his odds to get another quick turnaround fight, got it, won it, and made history. Casey Kenny is going to be back up again next weekend after putting on an extremely lackluster performance last weekend because he said he wanted another fight. He didn't say when. He just said he wanted another fight. They got him another fight on Fight Island. So nobody tonight has said that they wanted another follow-up fight. So nobody got one as far as we know. But we're going to go ahead and call that all for now. Probably not going to see you guys Wednesday night for a Joe Luminaries. We will probably have a regular back to the old school full meat and potatoes full course meal episode of I'm No Joe on Thursday, assuming nothing too crazy happens in the fight world this week. Between now and then, we will wait and see. Either way, I will see each and every one of you again Thursday night, 9:30 Central Time ish. Thank you all for tuning in, whether you were here with us live or you're catching on a replay. We appreciate you either way. If you like what we do around here, give us a thumbs up. If you require the information that we give you, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss an episode. If we give you the info that you need, share an episode of the show. We're trying to grow the damn thing. On the other side of that coin, if this is just a channel full of dipshits talking out our ass to webcams without knowing what we're talking about, give us a thumbs down. We earned it, and we won't dispute it. That being said, we are going to call it all for this evening. So remember, until next time, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything. Wink.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kicks were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times.